Amazon deciding to go into podcasts, okay? So launching into podcasting Wednesday, becoming the latest entrant to the rapidly expanding medium is Amazon. Amazon Music has more than 70,000 podcasts to start, including DJ Khaled. While that library is significantly smaller than Apple's over 1 million podcasts or Spotify's 1.5 million podcasts, Amazon is launching with popular titles including Crime Junkie, What a Day, Radiolab, Revisionist History, Planet Money, and stuff you should know while the company is joining a competitive field. Executives said the service can tack differently from rivals as it has with music streaming and bring in new podcast listeners, particularly through its voice-activated home speakers. Thoughts on Amazon going into podcasts?
You know, are those the scariest words you could ever hear in an industry? Amazon has decided to come into your space,
yeah.
right? Because there's nothing you could do. Whatever, you know, they've taken their time. They've been very, very methodical in doing this. So they've got something up their sleeve. It sounds like it's opening, you know, U.S., UK, Germany, and Japan primarily right away. They got big names. DJ Khaled. Did I pronounce that right? I shouldn't talk about rappers.
You did great, Tom.
Okay, good. I practiced. Dan Patrick, Will Smith. You know anything Will Smith is touching is going to work the way that guy has his
Will
business
Smith's
empire
going to do a
going.
podcast or something?
Well, he and his wife have, I'm sure, a whole network.
Oh, they got something going on.
We'll see. I mean, but they're going to do it very, very well. Spotify's shares sunk just on the news alone. Be interesting what Amazon can do that's going to be different, though. Is Jeff Bezos going to have a podcast? Are people going to listen to that? I would imagine they would if he offers up some gossip from his personal life or some business tips.
I doubt Bezos is doing a podcast. However, I do agree with your point, for sure. If Amazon is jumping into anything, I'd be fearful. You just said Spotify stock went down. Yeah. Totally.
But I go ahead. Did you have a response to
No,
it?
I mean, I actually agree with
Did you
Tom.
just want to say I agree and make this a wonderfully happy...
Hey, everything that Tom says today, I'm going to agree. We're just going to have a total compliance
Hey, I
show.
say you guys get off this podcast. Today's going to be everyone's agreeing. What are you doing listening to this podcast?
Guys, I don't even know why I'm here.
Okay, so tell us. What points do you have that we haven't heard from Tom?
A couple key points to
Tell
that.
us.
The company is joining the highly competitive field. We got that, right? But like Tom said, if Amazon's joining this competitive field, if I'm a competitor, I'd be very scared. I would say, if there's two things that Amazon is going to start focusing on, by the way, they're killing it in everything they do.
Yeah.
If they're going to join the podcast world, you know, competing with the Spotifys of the world, I think there's a higher likelihood that they're going to crush that field versus competing with the Elon Musk, SpaceX type of exploration.
And why is that? Do you have a reason for that?
I just think it's more their niche. I think it's more their fit. I think, you know.
I was hoping you were going to go deeper than that. I was hoping your cinnamon hot chocolate coffee that you had this morning was going to bring out the, and the DMT stuff that we were talking about.
They got the Alexa. They got the, I mean, listen, when I walk into my office
now
over
you're talking.
Yeah, I'm talking. I'm talking. You cut me off. You cut me off. No.
Go get to your point.
So, I mean, obviously they're a massive place. They got data galore. I walk into my office right there. Alexa, play Travis Scott.
Perfect.
Boom, Travis Scott is being played.
Yes.
So you walk into your office, you're like, Alexa, play the Patrick BetDavid Podcast. Boom, now we're playing it. Alexa, play the Jeff Bezos Podcast, Tom Zenner's new favorite podcast. So I think that's where they're going with this, and it's just a data play, and they're going to dominate whatever they do.
Here's what I will tell you. I think I don't even think the podcast world has even started yet. I think there's a million. To me, it's nothing. There's 7.7 billion people in the world. 1 million podcasts means nothing, okay, as far as how many podcasts are being done today. There's still a lot of great people that could crush it in the podcast world that haven't gone into it. There's a lot of creative people that have not gotten to podcast world. But this is the one thing you have to keep in mind. So if, for example, the three of us were to get into real estate, okay, all three of us, have you ever done real estate? I've never done real estate.
Yeah,
so
I did.
Let's just say the three of us become realtors. All three of us become realtors. You're in Manhattan. You're in Miami. I do California, SoCal, and I do some Dallas. Hypothetically, I do SoCal and Dallas. Okay. Who are the first people, when you make your list, you're going to contact about selling them home in Miami? Who's your market?
I'm going to call my athletes. I'm going to call my my friends with families and kids.
Yeah.
People
what have
with
you
money.
been doing last
People with money.
14 years? What have you been doing last 14 years?
Life insurance settlement.
So you're going to call your life insurance clients. You're going to call some of your life settlement guys.
The business side of things.
No, what I mean is the people you deal with, the agents you're dealing with.
Financial advisors.
Who are you going to call?
High net worth people. Anybody I know that has money and that's going to spend, and then I can talk into something.
But specific, what industry that you've been in for a long time?
I've been in the media business.
So you're probably going to call your contacts in media.
Of course.
He's calling Michael Jordan.
And you're going to say what? Listen, guys, I'm doing real estate.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Tom. How you doing? Good. Look, I just want to give you an update. I'm in a real estate business now,
Yeah,
and I'm selling homes. I'm not selling, I'm selling real estate now. Then you contact them.
Yeah.
What's my point here? Amazon has 10 million authors. They have 10 million authors that need to sell their books, and Amazon's going to say, guess what? On your Author Central website with your books, put your podcast right here, because the moment someone's done listening to your podcast and they like it, they can buy your book. They got 10 million authors potentially that could be creating content for them, because Amazon's going to go to what they already have a database of. It's authors, a ton of them, and they need to sell books. And many of them, the way they make money is purely selling books. I think Amazon's got already a deep enough, what do you call a database of people that could create content. I think they'll be competing.
And Pat, think about this too. Alexa already knows what you like and what you want.
Damn.
So she's going to be able to tell you what's available. I mean, they're programming to people specifically already because they know everything about you. Here's the bigger question. What couldn't Amazon go into? Could they open a restaurant? I mean, what's next for them? Is there anything that they would touch that wouldn't be successful? I mean, this kind of surprised people. I think it makes perfect sense. I don't think anybody was expecting it, but it does make you wonder what's next and what couldn't they do.
I'm not surprised by Amazon going into podcasts, though, at all. Like, I'm not at all. I'm surprised that they haven't gone in yet. That's what I'm surprised with. I'm not surprised that they're going into it. I think it's a good move on them.
But yet being the key word, because they could have done this a long time ago.
That's the part. The yet is the key part.
That goes back to my original point. This is not shocking to me. It's way more a fit for them versus trying to compete with the SpaceXs of the world. Space exploration versus podcast. It's a little more fit.
I think those are two different reasonings. Podcast is just business. We got to do it.
Yeah.
It's a product that we can put on the shelf. Hey, we're Walmart. There's these new towels that came out. Put them on the shelf. It's cool. We got to sell it. Hey, we got TVs. We got to
sell the podcast on the shelf.
Put the podcast on the shelf. SpaceX is. There's no way Elon Musk is a better entrepreneur than me. That's what SpaceX is.
That's the competitive nature you're saying?
SpaceX is who's dating the prettier girl. SpaceX is measuring your better basketball game, your better, SpaceX is a little bit more a manly competition. It has nothing to do with making money.
Think about what you just said, Pat. Just everyone in the audience, just think about this for a second.
Adam just had an epiphany moment.
Here we go.
Go ahead, buddy. Tell us.
We are now talking about entrepreneurs competing over going to space.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now in 2020. Oh, you think you're going to go to the moon? Buddy, I'll meet you on Mars. That's where we're at right now. That's wild stuff right there.